We never stand still. We always give youth a chance, and we try and play attractive football.
Crossed by every Januzaj.
They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that definitely has to be the case for Manchester United as we go into the 2014-2015 season. But before we do, let's have a look back at 2013-14. It was our first season under a new manager, with David Moyes taking charge from Sir Alex Ferguson, the greatest manager in football history. Right up there with the Shankleys and Cloughs, but he did it over a longer period of time. So Sir Alex, greatest manager ever. Since then, we started off with David Moyes. We ended up with Ryan Giggs as interim manager, and it looks like we'll be getting Louis van Gaal for next year, so that should automatically tell you it was a bad season, but in case you don't remember, let's relive the pain. It started off well with a 2-0 win over Wigan Athletic in the Community Shield. We achieved our target in that competition by winning that trophy. It doesn't really count, but still, we won the trophy. After that, we began the Premier League with a 4-1, I think it was a win over Southampton, or 4-1 win over Swansea, and that wasn't our greatest performance, but goals galore, so we were thinking, okay, no Fergie, no problem. We ended up finishing the season in 7th. No European football. I would have said the target was top 4 for David Moyes. We knew it would be a difficult season. We knew we didn't invest as much as we could, but we failed by all accounts. We should have finished in the top 4, really. Arsenal had a dodgy spell. Chelsea weren't really firing because they had no strikers, if you believe Jose Mourinho. Liverpool had a good year, so I guess maybe we can excuse finishing below them this season, although obviously it hurts to finish below the Scouts any given year. Man City won the title. They have the best squad. They spent the most money. So as much as it hurts, we can't really dispute that they deserved it. Moving from there, we also were in the Capital One Cup, where we were knocked out in the semi-finals by Sunderland, of all teams. I think we achieved the target of getting to the semi-finals. That's a respectable performance in that competition. The problem being that we were facing Sunderland, we had a farce on penalty kicks. So as such, we achieved our objectives, but it pretty much seemed like a failure because of the way we went out of the cup. Then there was the FA Cup, where we exited in the 3rd round to Swansea, infamously at Old Trafford. That was probably the biggest failure, I would say, among all of the competitions. Obviously, the Premier League takes precedence, but among the cups, that was terrible. So that was far below expectations. Wilfred Bonny scored in the 90th minute, if I remember. So that was a failure. And the Champions League, we were knocked out in the round of 16 by Bayern Munich. In the quarterfinals. I would say that's a fair placement for the Man United squad that exists at present, and so I would say that checks the box as a pass. So ultimately, if we're grading the season, Community Shield pass, Premier League fail, Capital One Cup pass, but it feels like a fail, FA Cup fail, and Champions League pass. And Premier League fail. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. Just if I did, reiterating it. So given that, I would say on the whole, the season's been a trying one. It's been a season of failures. And there will be big change at Old Trafford this summer, starting from the manager, going all the way down the squad. We saw at the end that Ryan Giggs gave youth a chance. We had Tom Lawrence making his debut. We had James Wilson making his debut. We had Adnan Januzaj making his debut earlier in the season. So positives-wise, those debuts, the improved form of David De Gea. Seems like we're changing goalkeeping coach again. Chris Woods will be replaced by Van Gaal's own man, it seems. So hoping that he goes from strength to strength under that guy. But still, De Gea did well under Chris Woods, so that was an improvement. I would say that another positive would be the fact that we did seal Wayne Rooney. We got a new 5-year contract. That could either prove to be a big negative if he doesn't work out under Van Gaal, but in terms of the quality of player, retaining him from our domestic rivals was probably a great achievement. So, yeah, Rooney, De Gea, and debuts. I mean, besides that, you can have no positives from this kind of season. Oh, and we won the Community Shield, if you really care. So, those things. Negatives, everything else. The league, The FA Cup, particularly those penalties against Sunderland, so many lowlights of the season to pick from. I would say my lowest low was when we lost 2-0 at Everton, just because it became clear how far back we'd gone under David Moyes and how far forward they've gone under Roberto Martinez. Although I think next season we'll be trying for them with all the loan players going back, but still, for this season it was painfully clear and David Moyes was sacked soon after. So that was probably my low light. My highlight was the 5-0 win over Leverkusen in Germany. That was probably the best we've played all season, and so that would be my highlight. But ultimately, it's been a season of failure, and we'll be looking forward to next season now at Old Trafford. Hopefully, we can get our Champions League place back at minimum, and we'll see what happens. This is Amir with the Red and Dead, and hopefully, I will be tracking the squad changes, and we'll have a bunch of videos about that coming up soon. So until I get to that, goodbye for now.